All right, well, I've got lots of help today. I've got Sadie here to help me. I've got Phoebe here to supervise. And this is day one of our prosciutto, all right? And this is a big pig leg. It is 28.05 pounds. I bought it from the meat market in Baraboo, Wisconsin. And they got it for me with the H-bone out and the hock off. And we're going to salt this and we're going to make prosciutto. Now, according to prosciutto law, to be called a prosciutto, it's got to be 400 days from the initial salting until you cut it. So by the time we cut this ham to eat it, Sadie is going to be 5.5 years old. Try and figure that out. That's a long time. So there are basically two types of prosciutto. You've got a prosciutto crudo, which is raw, and it's the most common and is typically cured just with salt. And not yet. The other type of prosciutto is called prosciutto cotto, and that is typically cooked and commonly seasoned with herbs or truffles. Since I lost my truffle sniffing pig, I don't have any truffles. So what we're going to do is we're going to make Prosciutto Wisco. So that is a self-designated Wisconsin prosciutto that I'm going to cure with some salt, some curing salt, some brown sugar, and a little bit of crushed red pepper. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trim a little bit of this fat off, and then we'll season it. And the next step is it goes in the refrigerator for the next 4 weeks before we do anything to it. And we'll describe the whole process as we go along. Me too. And you down? This is one of the rare times I've been able to get Miss Sadie here to help. So pretty excited about it. And I like to trim some of this off. So this is the third prosciutto that I've made. So my last one, because of work and kids and all that stuff, it was 444 days from salting until we cut it. Sadie's trying so hard to be quiet and good. So that's about all the trimming I'm going to do. I didn't take a ton off, but a couple dirty spots I wanted off. As you can see, the H bone was removed. And then we cut it at the shank. And now we're going to salt it and put it in the fridge, and that's all we're going to do for now. You can see I'm going to have to order some Sadie side. You got all your fingers in that one. All right. Okay. Your thumb goes in that one. Just your thumb. Oh, did you miss? That's all right. That's perfect. Oh no, we lost a finger. All right. So now we're going to salt the ham. So I've got 2 cups of my Morton curing and canning salt. I've got a half a cup of the Morton's Tender Quick cure. I've got a cup of light brown sugar. And again, there's the half a cup of the Tender Cure. And then for whatever reason, my recipe calls for a teaspoon of crushed red pepper. I've done it the last 2 times. Be honest, I don't know what the red pepper's for, but we're going to do it. So we're going to mix that in with the 2 cups of pickling salt. We're going to put the brown sugar in. And ready to cook. Are you ready? Okay, we'll put that in. And now Moo's just going to stir that up. So once we salt it, I'm going to wrap it in brown paper, and I'm going to put it on this screen, and it's going in the refrigerator. The purpose of the paper is to hold all the salt on the face of the ham. And I want you to take this spoon, just about that much, and I want you to dump it right there. Okay, good shot. Next time, let's try and dump it right here. Way over here. Are you watching? Would you rather do it with your other hand? Okay.
All of it or no?
A bunch of it. Okay, good job. I want you to come in here and help me move it around. We want to cover the whole thing as much as we can. We want to get a whole bunch down in here. That's where the H-bone was. Have you ever done this before? You're pretty good at this. Yeah, you want to pick that up and put it up here. You want to rub it down here on the sides.
Whoopsie. Just got you.
Did you get some on me? That's all right. So we've got to get a bunch on the hock also. So when I started this series, this is exactly how in my mind, I envisioned Sadie would be there with me to help me all along. And what I have really found is a 4-year-old is really hard to film with. So I'm just eating this up. And if I have to mop the floor, I'm going to mop the floor. But this is just fantastic. So I'll give you a look all the way around that. So, looks pretty good. Well, we had a little boo-boo last night, and I was writing some notes down in my journal this morning about what we did and how we did it last night. And I realized that I got the canning salt and the Tender Quick mixed up in the amounts I used. So what I did is I pulled the ham out of the refrigerator this morning. I rinsed it all off, and I'm going to put the correct amounts on. So I've had some really, really good help salting last night. So I'm not going to share that part with you. But here's what we're using for our rub. So first of all, I'm using the Morton's Tender Quick. That's got our cure in it. I'm using 12 grams per pound of meat. So for a 28-pound ham, I'm using 337 grams of the Morton's Tender Quick. Then I'm using a cup of light brown sugar, a half a cup of the Morton's canning and pickling salt, and a tablespoon of crushed red pepper. So I'm going to re-season it. I'm going to wrap it back up. It's important to go back and look at your notes, and it's easy to make a mistake. But, we're on, first 12 hours of a 400-day process, so I feel pretty comfortable that by starting over, we'll be just fine. So we'll get the right amount of cure in there. You can see I've already got it all mixed up. I'm going to put about half of this on, and then in 3 days, I'll put the other half on. So I'll get moving on this, and we'll see in 400 days. All right, so this paper I'm using is, my wife has it for doing art projects with the grandkids, but I've used it in the past. And so I'm going to pick the ham up, I'm going to set it on here, and then I'm going to fold everything over to try and keep all this salt in place. All right, see if I can lift 28 pounds here. All right, I'm going to take this and whatever will come off, and I'm just going to dump it up on top here. All right, so I will hang it in my basement once it's time, and makes the basement stink a little bit, but that's all right. Kind of like wrapping a Christmas present. I'll put a little bit of tape on that, and I'll put it on my, when you put it in, you want to put it, I use a cookie sheet. All right, so I've got a cookie sheet that I'm going to set this on, and you don't want it sitting in the bottom because you don't want it sitting in its juices. So we'll put it on here, and I'll stick it in the fridge, and other than 3 days when I resalt it, other than that, you wait. So, all right, well, that takes up a significant amount of space in my refrigerator. You can see that I put some foil on the edges because the ham overhangs and it's going to drip, and I want to try and keep all the drippings in the pan. So that's my attempt to do that. We'll pull it in 3 days, resalt it, and then do the same process, put it back in here and just leave it for 4 weeks. It's been 3 days since we originally salted the ham. It's like unwrapping a Christmas present. You can tell by the paper that there's been a lot of juice come out. I'm gonna put it in the pan for salting here, and you can see that, there's still some salt on here, but a lot of it's already absorbed in. So we'll use the rest of this salt, and we'll salt this and the hock, and then I'll wrap it back up and stick it in the fridge, and probably won't look at it again for about, I want to say about 4 weeks. After 3 days, it's already got just a little bit of a dry cured aroma to it. So the ham's resalted. So I'm just going to wrap it back up, and I'm going to set it on the cookie sheet and take it back out to the fridge and look at it here again in about 4 weeks. All right, thought I'd show you all the juice that's in here. You can kind of see it moving around in there. So I was being so careful not to spill it, and I ended up spilling it down the face of the counter and onto the floor. So don't tell my wife, please. Day 3, only 397 days to go.